Have you stepped out of your mind to ask yourself questions? I mean, real questions that most never do ask themselves throughout their life cycles. So, yeah, I'm not talking about your family, about your name, about your career, about your jobs, about your whatever. I don't care about that. The real questions that I'm asking here is, have you stepped out of your mind and asked yourself who you really are? Who is the person? Who is the individual that is experiencing all of this life experience? Have you done that? If you have not done that, then you have not truly started to live. Because beneath all this noise, beneath all this noise of the world, there is someone underneath this your body and your mind. It's observed your childhood. It's still observing your life right now. So the important question is to ask yourself, who are you? Who am I? Because obviously you are not your name. You are not your job. You are not your success. You are not your happiness. You are not your failures. You are none of that. So the real question is, who are you? Who am I? And it's an important question. If you never start to ask yourself that question, then I think this is the right time to start asking yourself questions, the most important questions about yourself. Because when you start asking yourself those questions, when you start seeking answers to those questions, that is when you truly start to live. That is when you truly start to awake. Because none of this noise of the words matter. None of these worlds, none of these failures, none of these things matters in the grand scheme of things. So it is very important for you to ask yourself questions, and you have to be honest about them. And this is beyond religious practices. It's beyond just believing things that you never questioned throughout your childhood. The most important journey to embark on, the most important work to do in this lifetime, is the journey to the inward yourself, the inner work. That is the most important journey that you can embark on in your lifetime. You see, all these external jargons, all this success, all this money, happiness, failure, traumas, and the good and the bad things in the external world doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't matter. What matters most is how much you understand yourself and how much of inner work, how much understanding of self do you have. And that is the most important. And that is what many of us never do. And we are so preoccupied with external thoughts. We often believe that our external shapes our internal, which is vice versa. What you experience in your external world is a reflection of what you are experiencing within you. So within is without. So it is very important that you go inward yourself and begin to ask questions. Begin to ask important questions. Begin to examine your beliefs, because you experience life through the lens of your beliefs. Many of us have beliefs that are not serving us anymore, and still we are still cultivating that belief and we keep experiencing life the same way. And this is a big deal, that if we don't address it, if we don't ever question them, then you can always have the same reality all over again, and we keep experiencing the same cycle all over again. So until we start to break that cycle, until we start to break that psychological pathways, that okay, what do I believe in? Are these things serving me, or are these beliefs, are they sabotaging me? And the first thing that you need to understand about belief is that once you have a belief, what you believe is real in your reality. That is what you have to understand about your beliefs. Your beliefs rules your reality. You love it, you like it or not, you're conscious of it or not, your beliefs rules your external world. So you have to examine what you believe. It is very important. And you need intention. You need intention. You have to be intentional. Our intentions often open portals to new ideas, to new thoughts, to new psychological pathways. So it is very important for you to understand your intentions. Understand that our will is very important. Growing up in an average society, we all pick up one or two beliefs along the way, even if it is not our conscious decisions, but we have to do that because of our environment, because of our families and all of that. But at some point in our lives, most of these beliefs doesn't serve us anymore, and you have to understand when you get to that point in your life. To truly change the world, you have to change yourself, because you are also part of the world. You are experiencing the world. You are the co-creator of your reality. So if you don't take things into your hand, then things are probably going to remain the same. You're just going to go about being exhausted. But when you go inward, when you do the inner work, then you understand that all the external things that you are experiencing, it doesn't really matter. It does not really matter if you don't do the inner work. If the mind is not calm, is not stable, then your external world will not be either. It's going to be chaotic. So you have to examine your beliefs. Check them. Check your beliefs. What do I believe in? Do I believe in myself? What do I understand about myself? How much understanding of myself do I have? These are very important questions. And this is the beginning of your spiritual awakening. This is going to be the beginning of your spiritual awakening. You have to awaken. You have to understand that you are a spiritual being in this physical world. And it's very important to understand that it is not the other way around. You are not a human being experiencing human world. You are a spiritual being experiencing the human world, experiencing the 3D. You have to understand that it is very important. You have to remember yourself. You have to understand your identity, who you are beneath this body, beneath your mind, who is the observer. It observed your childhood and it's still observing your experiences right now. It's beneath the pain, it's beneath the trauma, it's beneath the money, beneath the success, it's beneath the happiness, it's beneath the failure that you have experiencing. It's practically the weakness of everything. So you have to understand that you are a spiritual being in the experiencing woman, and you are only here temporary. You have to remember yourself. You have to understand that none of these external jargons matters. You cannot be attached. Once you are attached, you that means you shift from your true self. You are attached with the things of the world, and you let it control you. And that is when you have problem. That's when you become egoistic. That is when you lack integrity. That is when you operate as ego. But when you understand that you are the character and you are the one experiencing the character, then you begin to have an experience that is out of this world. And you begin to understand that you are just here to experience, just to feel. That is just it. Nothing can escape the threshold of death. Once death comes, when you begin your journey of transformation again, because death is actually not the end, it's the transformation. Death is the important. Without death, there cannot be life, and it is not meant to be threatful. It is not meant to threaten you. You don't have to be afraid of dying, because the world is gonna evolve anyway, and if the world is going to evolve, then something must die before another will live. This tree presently is blooming. There's a time that a leaf will die and it will drop. Another one will grow up, will replace it. The knowledge of self is the beginning of true wisdom. When you don't have the knowledge of yourself, that is when your world, your external world, will begin to be chaotic. It will not be peaceful for you. But when you understand deeply, and you understand to your core that you are not here forever, you are a spiritual being experiencing humanity. You are already complete. You are already abundance. You already have everything. You lack nothing. You lack nothing. All this money, all this material money, and and everything, it doesn't dictate your worth. Being homeless doesn't dictate your worth. Nothing dictates your worth. You are already complete. You are a complete being. You have to understand that fact to be able to shift from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. You have to understand that you are already complete with or without the material things. That is when you begin to have true peace, and that is when the abundance will truly start to shift towards you. And that's when you are in the flow with yourself. That's when you are in oneness with yourself. It's an important thing to understand. You have to understand that you lack nothing. You are complete. You are whole. You came here with nothing, and you're going to go with nothing. So that means that with or without anything in the physical world, you are okay. So when you have that understanding, it is easier. It is easier to shift yourself away from scarcity mindset. I'm a day trader, and I understand this so well. I understand how your mindset affects your life. I understand how your beliefs affect your life. So you have to do the work. You have to do the inner work. You have to ask yourself, You have to go spiritual about yourself. Understand your beliefs. Understand how your beliefs rules your life, how your decisions, how your actions, how your intentions. Because you are the creator of your reality. Every day you have a choice to decide. Every single day you have a choice. Every sunrise you have a choice. So you have to do the inner work. As a day trader, I understand very well that your beliefs create your reality. And the beautiful part of trading, of day trading, is that it's going to reveal yourself to you. It's going to make you understand that, oh boy, I'm still lacking in this area of myself. I'm still lacking in patience. I'm not disciplined. I don't respect myself. I betray myself always. Day trading will make you understand all those things. It will make you understand how reality works. That is the beautiful part of it. It makes you understand how your mind works. It's an amazing tool of self-development, of self-awareness. So the inner work is the most important journey that you're going to go in your life. Regardless of your location, regardless of how much you think you have, how much knowledge or how much wisdom you think you have to go within yourself and know yourself. When you know yourself, then nothing will shake you in this physical world. That's when you begin to awaken, and that's when you begin to understand in a higher perspective. That's when you begin to move different. That's when you begin to react different. That's when you begin to understand your emotions. And that's when you begin to create your reality. That's when you leave it out of automatic. Because if you don't do it, your mind will do it for you. And you know your mind is a terrible master. Your mind is made up of your traumas, of your fears, of your happiness, your failures, and everything. That's what your mind is made up of, and your mind, you cannot allow your mind to rule you. And if you don't do the inner work, you cannot understand your mind. You're still going to be associating yourself with your mind. You have to understand that you are not your mind. You are not your body. You are the witness. You are the observant. You are the one observing your mind. You are the one observing your body. You have to come to that realization. It is very important. Be aware. Start your inner journey. Start your inner journey. Begin your inner journey. Because if you don't understand yourself, there is really nothing. The universe actually asks nothing from you than to just remember yourself. Remember who you are. It doesn't care about good or evil. It doesn't care about your lack or abundance. The most important thing is for you to remember yourself. You have to understand that you are enough. The universe is enough. The universe is abundance. You have to shift your perspective. You have to study your beliefs and check them out. What you believed in, is it serving you or not? It is important. It's important. When you begin that journey, you begin to understand, you begin to have depth. You begin to have depth, and the more depth you have about yourself, about who you are, the more life is going to turn out way more different. You're going to begin to have different experience. You're going to begin to understand that you cannot be operating as ego. You have to be humble. You have to have integrity. You cannot lower yourself. You cannot operate in a low vibration. You cannot operate in a low vibration, because every time you do that, then you betray yourself. Then it becomes a wasted time. Every time lived unconsciously is a wasted time. Begin to ask yourself questions. Begin to stay conscious. Wake up.